Hey guys, welcome back down here at South Palms Beach, well, the Oceana now in Panglao. Just walking in the evening here after the gym, so I thought I'd do a topic. Actually, it's something I seen come up in one of the expat groups, and this is really common here, is issues with marriage. So there's a couple things I want to address in this video. So a lot of people, are coming here, actually probably most people are coming here to find their new life, which includes a girl, or they're specifically actually coming here for a girl and looking maybe to get remarried. So a lot of people have the opinion, I'm not sure where I fall on this one, but a lot of people have the opinion of just don't get married here. One, divorce is illegal. Well, it actually is just passed. I think it actually got signed into law here, but there's a ton of stipulations on it. So it's not like America. Some of the things are if the husband's abusive, that type of thing. So there's real limitations on it from what I understand already. But obviously nobody gets married with the mindset, right, that they're going to get divorced. But I would venture to say most of you watching this video probably been married and divorced, right? The statistic in America is over 60% of marriages end in divorce in America. Here it's not like that because, like I said, divorce has been basically not legal here up until recently. There was a process for an annulment, but it was very expensive and very lengthy, like 2 years to get done. So anyway, my point on saying that is nobody goes into a relationship thinking that it's going to end, especially a marriage, right? Otherwise you just wouldn't get married. But having said that, most of us have come from past lives where we've been married and divorced. So the reason I say that is you really, really, really have to be cautious here for a lot of different reasons. So that leads me into what I seen this morning, and I'm going to kind of give you a summary of something that I seen this morning. This was a foreigner that posted this really long story on an expat group. And long story short, comes to the Philippines, gets married, and he says instantly his new wife, he thought, is taking advantage. But he said he lets her. Now this is where the stupidity sets in. I hate to be harsh, but in my opinion, you're just dumb if you get this taken advantage of. So his new wife tells him it's Filipina custom to let the wife take care of all the bills. So in order to do that, I need to have access to all the bank information, all your finances, etc., etc., etc. So you see where this is going, right? And actually, I've seen people, some of you guys have commented on my videos and said that, oh, well, my wife has full access to my bank information and all of it, does all of her finances and takes care of all the money things in the Philippines. If you're willing to take that risk, you're a better man, or maybe a not as wise man as I am, because I am not going to do that. I've seen too many horror stories here to get taken that way. So, and that's what happens to this poor guy. So he says after about 2 years, he said his wife was throwing these extravagant fiestas for her friends and family and ordering lechon, like full lechon, meals, buffet, having them catered, having these big parties. And he said anytime I questioned her about it, she just said, that's the Filipina custom. You have to get used to it. You're married to a Filipina now. That's just the way we do things. And he said anytime that he questioned her about money, that's basically the answer that he got. But you just have to get used to it. You're married to a Filipina. So he was dumb enough to get a house built, buy some land, and get a house built. And in the Philippines, you may or may not know this already, but a foreigner cannot own land in the Philippines. So you can't own the house, you can't own the land. So what people do is they put it in their wife's name. So what happens, and there's some ways around that, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. Just know that most people, what they do, I know this for a fact, talking to enough people here, most people, what they do is they put it in their wife's name. So he does that. She has access to his bank account. So she takes all the money out and goes and she pays some unknown amount to a judge to pay off a judge because she's going to take him to court for the house and the lot, and she wants a divorce. The judge files in her favor, basically kicks this guy out of the house. And he said, I have no house, I have no money. She cleaned out my bank account. There's nothing I can do. I've talked to lawyers. They don't want to touch the case with a 10-foot pole because the judge already ruled on it. And I talked about this in other videos. The legal system in the Philippines is an utter joke and does not work like what we're used to. And it's corrupt. And if you pay enough money to the right people, you're going to get things done here. So that's exactly what she does. She takes him for a few, like 300,000 US dollars or more. And that's not the first guy. These aren't rare occurrences here. I see these a lot. And you'll, if you're a member on different groups, you'll see these posts, and then you'll see 50 people post after, oh, that same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. And if you do some searching on YouTube, you're going to see 50 videos talking about this exact subject. And the reason I'm putting this info out is because I'm blown away that it's this freaking common. I really, really am. Guys, think with your head, not your heart. And I know that maybe sounds harsh, right? And I know some of you are going to comment and going to say, oh, I do that with my wife and everything's fine. We've been married for 15 years. Yeah, that might be true. But do you want to roll the dice would be my question. Do you want to be the statistical anomaly, probably, and roll the dice and hope for the best and hope that your wife is a good person, not going to clean out your bank account, not going to take your house, your land, kick you out of it? Because I know for a fact, I was talking to my girlfriend this morning, and she has a friend, not really a friend, just an acquaintance that she kind of bumps into here and there. Her friend was laughing the other day, telling her, I think I'm going to get my boyfriend to buy me a lot, a piece of property, and then maybe build a house. And she's actively banging other guys behind his back. That's 100% certainty. And looking for other boyfriends. She's basically trying to upgrade, get a better foreigner. And she laughed about it. She thinks it's funny that she's going to take advantage of this poor guy, apparently. So these women are out there, guys. They really are. Again, not all of them. Not all of them. So if you're a Filipino listening to this, don't get all defensive. That's not how we are. That might not be how you are, but that is how a large majority of them, or a lot of them, are here. Trust me. Like I said, these aren't rare occurrence stories. This isn't one story I heard and I'm jumping to a conclusion. I've heard very similar stories from people in person that I've met here in the last year, that I know for a fact that a lot of these girls, that's actually what they look to do. I mentioned this on another video. I know for a fact, girls have told me their family tells them, you need a foreigner boyfriend. You need a foreigner husband so he can take care of the family. He can buy us a house. He can buy a house and property. So guys, don't fall for that BS. Just don't fall for it. I personally, and I'm overly cautious, but I'd rather be overly cautious than be a fool, right? We've all heard that saying, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Meaning if you fool me twice, I'm the dumbass, right? You might trick me once and I might fall for it. You keep tricking me, then I'm just the dummy, right? So I personally, I do not share how much I make. I never would. I don't share my finances with anybody. I said this in another video and I still stick by it. Play poor. You don't have to act poor, but just play like you don't have the money. Hey, I'd like to help you. I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that, but I'm on a tight budget too. I'm fixed income, whatever line of crap you want to tell. Because if you're very financially well off here, trust me, you got a big target on your back. You just do. So I'm very, very, very protective of my information. I don't, I kind of act like I have, obviously I have more money than most Filipino people here, but because it's just, you know, based on where you live and what you drive and what you do and that kind of thing. They can add 2 + 2, right? And say, okay, this guy makes a decent bit of money. But you sure as shit don't share any specifics, right? And go bragging about it. And I sure wouldn't be giving somebody access to my bank information. Oh, here's my debit card, here's my banking information. Move all your money over to Philippines banks. All my money's in American banks. Still is and will remain that way. Because the other thing is, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to stay here forever. This may not be my forever home. Just might not be. There's some other places I want to go explore. I'm not going to go closing down my banks and moving my money here and giving some, even if I did get married at some point. I know maybe that sounds jerky to some of you listening to, oh yeah, what kind of life is that? Your wife has no access to your money, right? The way I did things before, and I've been married before, I've been in long-term relationships, obviously. What I did was I had one joint account that she did have access to that had all the bill money and had extra money in there. And if she wanted to use it for whatever, clothes, things like that, she could use it. But I also had another account where I had another income that check went into that account that she did not have access to. That was 100% mine. So there's no possible way she could gain access to it. So maybe set yourself up something like that if you're going to get married, right? I would not grant 100% access to everything. And you really, really, really need to think long and hard before you're going and buying property and building your dream house here and putting it in your wife's name, right? Like I said, nobody plans on a divorce, right? But there's that old saying we have in America, right? No wrath like a woman scorned, right? Maybe you do something to piss her off, or maybe she thinks you did something to piss her off. A lot of these people are really jealous and really suspicious with no foundation. That's just their nature. So maybe you perceive to have done something, and then she gets pissed off one day and goes to the bank, cleans the accounts out, and then you're just kind of sitting there wondering to yourself, well, shit, guess I'll go get a lawyer. Good luck with that. Like I said, the legal system here is utterly pathetic. And so I would not, that was the other thing. I'm not going to ever build a house here. I'm just not. I do not want to roll those dice. I just don't. I will rent. If I ever bought something, which is very unlikely, I will buy a condo. Foreigners can own condos here. They're not a great investment. I could do another video on those at some point, but they're not a great investment anyway. That would be my advice. Because the other thing about the house thing is, then she has all the cards. And I hate to put this into that perspective, like, oh, this is some sort of power struggle between you and your wife, right? But like I said, it's the either perceived slight on her part or the actual, she just gets pissed off or gets in an argument or whatever the issue is. All the cards are in her hands, right? And then all of a sudden it turns into, hey, this is my house. This house is in my name. Your name isn't on this deed. It's me. So, and like I said, I'm not making these stories up, guys. I've talked to people. I physically talked to people that have shared stories. And like I said, if you haven't watched other YouTube channels where they've talked about these things, do some searching on YouTube and you're going to be utterly amazed, because most YouTubers have talked about this at some point and have had people on their shows and interviewed them, and they've told their nightmare stories. So don't go building houses. Sure as shit, don't go buying lots for your girlfriends and all that type of stuff, and giving them access to your bank accounts and whatever. Your money. And most of the comments on these videos usually, or these expat groups, when somebody shares a story like that, most of the comments are, oh, either it's, oh, that's happened to me or happened to a friend of mine, etc., etc. But a lot of people do have some common sense, and they're cautious, and they say, well, that was kind of your own stupidity. I hate to be mean to you, guy, but you know, if you were that silly to not see the red flags, you have intuition for a reason. You have gut instinct for a reason. You have the spidey sense. You have the hairs on the back of your neck tingling, whatever it is you want to call it, right? I said that in another video. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, guys, guess what? You are. Stick with that. This guy said he thought it was weird when his wife kept throwing these extravagant parties for her friends and family. But why didn't you end it then, dude? Why didn't you go to the bank and take her off the account? Why didn't you end it then? That would have been an instant for me. Instant. That would have happened one time. One party. Next time she wanted to do that, that would have been a no-go. You're not continuing to throw these extravagant bashes. We're not millionaires, right? Like I said, if you got to exaggerate a little, hey, I don't have the money for you to keep doing this. All the more reason to not give them access to your bank. Because if they see the money in there, they're going to think, oh my God, this guy is rich. Rich, 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 rich. I hit the lottery, girl. So that's my advice. In the end of the day, it's your money. You're a big boy, right? You do what you want with it. Like I said, you want to play Vegas odds and roll the dice, right? I always used to tell my friends this because I went to Vegas all the time on work things. I used to tell my buddies, Vegas wasn't built by winners, right? You think they're building billion-dollar casinos because people win a lot there? No, Vegas was built on losers, meaning the house always wins in the end, right? So, and again, this isn't bashing Filipinos. It's not. It truly isn't. Because there's some really good girls here, and you can find a really good wife with really wholesome upbringing, and she's not looking to take advantage of you or steal your money or rip you off, scam you. They're not. But there's also a lot that are. So like I said, you want to roll the dice, that's your decision. You do you, right? You do you, boo. So that's my advice. And I really, honest to God, I hope that helps, because it really bothers me when I see these stories, because some of these guys are almost destitute, right? Some of these guys are like not only heartbroken that they had this happen to them, but then broken, as in they may have worked their entire life and had $300,000, $400,000 in the bank as some sort of pension, right? They come here, they build their dream house, they think they married their dream woman, and then in one swoop is taken from them. So yeah, I don't know what I would do in that situation other than maybe learn your lesson the hard way, unfortunately. But so that's why I'm just overly cautious. Like I said, I'd rather be overly cautious and wrong than careless and right, you know. So, all right, guys, that's about it on this one. And like I said, I hope that helps. And if you've been scammed, maybe let me know, let other people know, post in the comments if you've been scammed like that. We're talking marriage. I'm not talking dating at this point, because those are a whole different set of scams I can get into on another video. And I've already talked about some of them here and there, but there's some new ones that I wanted to talk about in another video. So yeah, I'm talking about the marriage, get married, and then your wife takes your house and all your money type of thing. So yeah, if that's happened to you, please let other people know so they know this is not just total BS that I'm making up, because trust me, I'm not. So, all right, guys, like and subscribe, and see you guys later. I'm gonna enjoy the sunset here. See you guys.